Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, we are back to talk about these rumors that are going on. Now, of course, this has not been confirmed, but we had the NBC upfronts where, normally Bravo talks about the renewed shows and the new shows and what's coming back and what's going to be like sort of like a launch of. But there were two franchises that we heard nothing about, which, of course, is going to have fans speculating like a mother. Yeah, this will be interesting. Before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, pop off in the comment section. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget that we are going live tomorrow for Hot Messy Topics at 12 p.m. Eastern. Here we go. All right, guys. So I want to start here. This is interesting because Bravo recently gave their renewal announcements, and obviously, notably, especially for the fans, they excluded the Real Housewives of New York City and the Real Housewives of New Jersey, leaving the future of these franchises pretty uncertain. But after a complete cast overhaul in season 14, RHONY aimed to rejuvenate the series. However, the reboot did face challenges. I want to add into this terrible reboot. Some of the cast members were good, yeah, but people did not want a new cast. They truly did not want a new cast. But that's exactly what they gave us. So I don't know how this is going to look moving forward. Wouldn't be the most shocked, I guess. Season 15 included a controversial pregnancy prank that left viewers pretty unsettled, and ratings did decline significantly, with episodes drawing as few as like 281,000 in the same day as far as viewers. But that was a huge contrast to the millions who tuned in during the series peak, and also when the original RHONY girls were on. But critics and fans expressed disappointment over the rebooted cast and the show's direction, and they said that there was a huge lack of compelling storylines and chemistry amongst the cast members. But despite the issues, an insider close to production stated that nothing official has been decided yet for RHONY or the Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they indicated that the door remains open for potential returns. But as far as Real Housewives of New Jersey, we know that the show has been on a hiatus since the conclusion of season 14, which that was due to a lot of the conflicts. But the season ended without a traditional reunion. Instead, they filmed two separate finales due to a lot of the tensions amongst the cast members. We know that Teresa and Melissa could not sit in the same room, but executive producer Andy Cohen did suggest that there was a potential reboot with new faces, and none of the decisions have been announced. I don't think, if something happens to RHONY and they get canned, I won't be surprised. I think for Real Housewives in New Jersey, I think that they have an opportunity to look at what they did wrong with RHONY and how they casted it wrong, or cast it wrong, and how they just what not to do moving forward. People did not want a whole new group. And it does kind of make me surprised because going into Vanderpump Rules, I don't exactly understand why they went with an entirely new cast for the same name of the show at the same location. I don't know how that's going to play out. I know for RHONY, not good. But I also attribute that to the fact that people get really invested in their housewives and their Bravo TV stars, and they see you, they see your family, they see your businesses, they see the kids, and they're like, oh no, this is the cast that we want. But then all of a sudden shit hits the fan and they're like, oh, no, no, we don't want this anymore. But then all of a sudden they reboot it and we're like, oh, we want the old cast. It's very, 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 very confusing. But Dolores Catania, who's been on the show for a long time, she was frustrated over the halt in production, stating that the cast's inability to put their egos aside contributed to the show's pause. But however, I do want to add too that Melissa Gorga, Dolores, and a few other cast members have publicly spoken about the fact that a lot of women in New Jersey are being, what is it called? They're being tested. So they're being tested for the show, trying to see, are you going to be a good fit? They're doing interviews with them. Like, what is your lifestyle like? What girls do you know? What are your dynamics with some of these other cast members? Is this going to be a good show? Is it not? I think that they're trying to just take their time with the Real Housewives in New Jersey, even though that's what they did with the Real Housewives in New York. Ay, ay, ay. All right. So, as far as right now, we don't know when it comes to the Real Housewives in New York and the Real Housewives in New Jersey. It seems like both of the futures are in limbo because Bravo is expanding their reality TV lineup. They added the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. That was announced, focusing on a close-knit group of women with deep community ties. And other new series included a reboot of Ladies of London, and there was the Wife Swap, Real Housewives Edition, where housewives from different franchises will trade lives. So we have a few other shows that have already been announced. And then they also said we're going to get the Persian Valley with MJ, Gigi, and Reza. And then what else did they say? Oh, they did say, like Southern Charm is going to start filming. We have a lot to look forward to. Again, don't think that the Real Housewives in New Jersey would have been canceled. I think that they're trying to put the most effort and time into what that reboot looks like. As far as Real Housewives in New York, I would not be surprised if they did cancel it. I hope they don't and they can just kind of figure this out. It wouldn't be the most shocking though. But I did want to share this too because Lindsay is responding to Carl's embarrassed comment. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this, but thank you to Face Reality 16. Lindsay Hubbard said, "This man has me all wrong. But then again, this is the guy who said I was obsessed with him over the summer." She said, "What are we in middle school? Embarrassed is not the word here. This man, my best friend of 8 years, fiance, partner, blindsided me and publicly humiliated me on national television with less respect than you would have for your enemy. Why on earth would I need to go to his soft launch for his bar that wasn't even opening yet?" Which brings me to number two. Number two, I didn't attend said launch, not because I was embarrassed, but good try. I didn't attend because why would I go 3 hours deep into New Jersey in the middle of rush hour traffic on a summer Thursday for a bar that at the time didn't even have a location locked in? And that you're talking about opening in Brooklyn, the complete opposite direction. Call me when it's actually launching, but I'm not going to waste 8 hours of my life to go celebrate him, talking about potentially doing something at some point. Maybe in the future, call me when it's opening. Number three. Ay, ay, ay. After watching the season back, I don't think I'm the one throwing jabs at his concept. Pretty sure a lot of people have had a lot of opinions on this endeavor, and it was not me. Yeah. She also said, "Sadly, I did not see this convo until last night, and therefore I wasn't able to address it at the reunion. But here's what I will say." Now, I'm wondering if she just didn't did you not get the episodes to address it at the reunion? Why wouldn't you address it at the reunion? That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Unless you got the episodes and you just didn't want to watch them. I don't freaking know at this point. I want to hear what you guys think though, guys. Pop off in the comment section. Obviously, like I said, we will be going live tomorrow, Friday, for Hot Messy Topics. It's going to be a good one. We have a lot to talk about, lots to discuss. But in the meantime, love you guys. Cannot wait to hear what you think, especially about RHONY and the Real Housewives in New Jersey. Pop off. Love you.